Hello, hello, good evening. We are live and I am happy that you're here. My name is Sandra Jennings and you have tuned into Passion Speak, where we give those with a passion a platform to speak. And tonight we're going to talk with the gentleman who is the creator of the U.S. Notary Agency and the Notary Cashflow Academy. His name is Tiger Toledo. He's a three-time best-selling author. You can find him on Amazon. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. We appreciate your time and your attention. If not, thank you for returning. I'm going to bring Tiger in. I met Tiger a couple of years ago, and well, let me just he's dynamic. Wait till you see him. Hi, Tiger.
Hi.
Welcome.
What's up? How
Hey,
are you, Sandra?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy that you decided to join me to talk about being a notary and your journey and how you've managed to successfully launch this and write books about it and create a cash flow academy. I'm really kind of excited because I don't know where I said this at. I think in one of my announcements of you, I had said I have been a notary for like 18 or 20 years. I
Hmm.
think 18 years, and it was a corporate notary, so
Hmm.
I didn't do it privately. And let me just apologize because Tiger and I have been having technical difficulties today, and you've been bleeping out. So you're back now. You're out. So
Wow.
we're going to continue to hear you, Tiger, even though your video may bleep out on us. So
Yeah.
we know that you're still there. I can tell that
Yeah.
you're
Can you
still
hear
there.
me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I want to see your lovely face so you can tell us all about
And I'd love to share my lovely face with you.
it. Okay.
All right. Let's
Um,
try this. Yeah. This is so weird. But
I want to say this. Um, Now you're muted. Okay, hold on. Now you're back on. Okay. Now you okay. It's going in and out. You're getting muted and you're back on. I don't know what's going on. I
Oh
usually
boy.
have technical difficulties, so I have I have empathy for you, brother. I get it. I totally get it. But anyway, I wanted to see your face when you
I'm
tell there
sorry.
you
I'm just really having some technical
difficulties. It
difficulties here today.
happens. It's okay. It happens. Um,
can you hear me,
I
Sandra?
can hear you very nicely, and we have no interruptions. So it's a camper. Okay. Okay. So I can see you just fine. I
Okay.
wanted to mention how you and I met. We actually, a relative of mine from Chicago, where you're currently located, originally from New York, but you're currently working in Chicago, working out of Chicago, and you and your family are stationed there. And my cousin lived in Chicago. She introduced me to you, and I said, "Oh, okay." So you and I got connected. And my first live seeing you, you shared a story that just moved me to tears. It was a story about your mother. Do you remember that story?
Oh, vividly.
Okay,
Vividly.
I need you to share that story, and I'm not going to cry. I
Okay.
promise. But I
I'm
need
gonna
this
try not to cry.
I'm
Right.
gonna take this remove me button. But yes, please share that story because it was so vital to your growth.
Yeah. Because the story is actually my turning point into wanting to become an entrepreneur. So I'm first generation American. My family is from Haiti. So their English wasn't the best, right? So my mom worked for a home care, uh, I guess for a lot of immigrants would come to New York and they would become home care attendants, right?
Mhm.
So my mom worked for a company called Personal Touch in Jamaica, Queens. And she would bring me along to her training so I could interpret what they're saying. So at the time, my mom was battling diabetes. It was starting to take a toll on her health wise, right? And again, excuse me if I get choked up, right? Because I get choked up
Okay.
every time I tell the story. So one day during the training, after the training was done, there was a gentleman. I've never seen this guy before in the whole office, but this young guy asked my mom to come into the office and say, "Hey, Miss Toledo, I need to talk to you before you go. Can you sit down?" So my mom brings me in. We're sitting at the table. I'm sitting on the left, her right side. And the young guy begins to say how great of a job my mom is doing. She's been with the company for 7 years. We love everything that you've been doing. Unfortunately, we've seen that it's been getting harder for you to get around. So, by my orders, I'm going to have to let you go. So, right there on the spot, my mom was fired. Now, I'm about like 14, 15 years old, and I'm sitting on the side. I'm really not paying attention to the conversation because it's grown people talking, right? And all of a sudden, I see my mom just bursting out in tears. I've never seen my mom cry in front of total strangers before. So I'm wondering, like, now I'm getting like, what's going on? What did he do to you, mom? And I at that point, my mom started begging this guy, please, how am I going to take care of my son? How am I going to pay for rent? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. And her health is decreasing at the same time. So she's like, man, I can't catch a break right now. Let me fix this. So she's like, I can't catch a break right now. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm so sorry. I have no idea why it keeps
It has
doing
something to do with your lighting, because I noticed when we add light, it could be something with your wiring. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So at that point, my mom begs this guy for her job back, and he said, "There's nothing I can do. My hands are tied." Right? We're probably gonna have to do it this way with a different camera,
Okay, that's fine.
if it's okay.
That's okay.
So at that moment, I've never felt more helpless in my life because there was nothing that I can do to help my mother out. She, like, I'm 15 years old. I did not have a skill. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. So I was solely dependent on her. On the whole train ride back, my mom is crying, and the train ride is about an hour and 30 minutes back to Brooklyn, and she just cried and cried and cried and cried. And it was just like, like, it was such a terrible feeling, like there's nothing I can do. And back in those days, for young kids like myself to get a skill, it was usually in criminal activities, right? And I did not want to go that route because all of my friends was going that route. It was like, no. So we wind up going, she wind up getting public assistance. We had the old food stamps. I mean, like the paper food stamps, right? And I remember it like it was yesterday. Every time those food stamps would come in, we would go to a supermarket, the big supermarket in Brooklyn, and she would, as soon as we walk through that door and the air conditioner hits your face and you see all of this stuff, she says, buy whatever you want. Just get whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you from getting it. Just get whatever you want. And at that moment, Sandra, I felt rich. And I got to feel what a rich person might feel like. Like, you could get whatever you want in here. And from that point, I was like, you know what? I do not want to work for people in my life. I don't want to be in that position. I don't want my kids to see me in that position. So at that point, I made that decision. Like, I have to work on. Now, I wish I had a fairy tale story to say, like, I never had a job, but no, I had a bunch of jobs, right? But it was always the same goal. It was like, I'm the spook that sat by the door. I'm looking to see how companies are ran, how companies have an infrastructure, what are they doing with their employees, and I took notes. I took notes for years, and then I just rolled it out into my notary business. So this is the first business that actually became successful. I had about 9 practice runs
Just nine.
Yeah, just 9.
I had a few. I had a few myself. So, okay. So tell me, how did you, we talked previously and
Mhm.
you were telling me your business is only a few years old, but how did you start the business that you have? How did you become a notary? How did you start your notary agency and your cash flow academy?
Sure. So, um, I was driving a truck at the time. That was a job I hated, by the way. Um, Worst job ever because I'm a natural extrovert, so I like meeting people. I like being around. I'm a mover and shaker. When you're driving a truck, you're stuck in a truck for like 15 to 17 hours a day. So as you guys can see, I have Red Bulls and Starbucks. Like I bounce off walls. Like now I'm stuck in this box. I got all this high energy, and I'm like, get me out of here. I'm banging on the steering wheel. I'm like, I'm going nuts, right? And I was like, I got to get out of here. I really, really got to get out of here. So there's that old saying that goes, um, you are the closest 5 friends that are around you, right?
Mhm. Some told
So
me 6 people.
right. So
Mhm.
I called all 5 of my friends, and I was like, can you give me a solution on how to get out of this business? I hate this job. Somebody tell me something. And nobody could tell me anything. So at that point, I realized like my circle sucks. And I started going online and looking for people. And I ran into a gentleman by the name of Andre Hatchett. He was just rolling out his online training system for the notary business school. So since I'm trapped in the truck for 15, 17 hours, I started to learn um, all of the mechanics of it, right?
Mhm.
Well, the guy that owned the trucks, this is funny. The guy that owned the truck, I was making him hella money, by the way, because I would run nonstop. And when the money started flowing in, he started going to more parties. His clothing changed. He got the gold Rolex now. I'm like, oh, this guy is really stunting now, right? And unfortunately, he wasn't making his truck payments. So one day they repossessed the truck that I was actually driving in, and just like that, I was out of a job, right? Um, so now I'm back in the real world where I can start implementing the notary stuff. So I filed for my commission, but at that time I couldn't get my commission quick enough. It took like some weird number, like 4 months or 5 months for me to
Mhm.
get it. But in the meantime, I rolled out my marketing plan. So I'm starting to get phone calls. I'm starting to get phone calls. I'm like, wow, wow, wow. Like, and I can't notarize the documents, right? I'm sorry. Let me mute this. So I'm getting all of these phone calls and I can't service these clients. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like this, I don't like giving away money like that. I didn't like giving away money. So I was like, I got to find a solution. So I said, you know what? In the academy, it explains something about building an agency. I learned about the agency side of things, and then I started to farm out the notary assignments to different notaries all around Illinois. It became so successful that I started reaching out to notaries in Indiana, in Michigan, and New Jersey, and all these other places, and it just blossomed from there. So 5 months later, I wound up getting my commission, and I started running appointments as well. Now, when I got my commission, it gave me more intelligence because now I can get into a person's house and see what a notary sees.
Mhm.
And by being able to identify, okay, here's a problem here, here's a problem here, I said, let me document all of this knowledge that I'm accumulating, and I poured it into the academy, not to really sell, but just to, I guess archive my diaries, right?
Mhm.
um, and it got to the point where notaries would ask me, how do I work for you, or how do I work with you, or how do I get to the level that you're at? And I was like, all right, well, you guys can look at some of my videos that I created for myself. Just pay me $5 or something, right?
Mhm.
And it just blossomed from there.
And you
So that
started
was
the
it.
agency.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm always learning from it. I'm on 24/7. I just love it.
I have to say, I like being a notary as well. I'm an introvert.
Hmm.
And so it helped me connect. I connect best with people one on one. So I like the notarizing side of it. Whereas you, like you say, you like the outreach and the marketing. But anyway, so you told me, you said something to me before, and you were talking about I can just go to notary. I can just go to YouTube and I can learn how to notarize papers. And the more legal documents you learn how to notarize, of course, the more money you're going to make because you get paid by the signature or by the document, right?
Hmm.
But something that your Cash Flow Academy does, by the way, viewers who want to avail themselves, they can use a little discount code because you got a class coming up on September 14th. But anyway, so you were saying it's much more profitable for you to teach me how to work my notary business because I'm not, my stepfather was a notary public, and we had this little sign that we put in the window at the house, and people used to stop by the house and pay him $5, and he would notarize their documents. I know, I watched him work for many, many years,
Awesome.
but he never marketed it. It was just that little sign that was in the window and I guess, word of mouth, people kind of know, and they see the little sign. Oh, there's a notary there, and we got to get this document signed. But your academy teaches us how to market it. Is that right?
Absolutely.
What can I learn?
So here's the thing. Like my natural background is sales and marketing. The only reason why I got into the trucking industry is because everything, like 2008, the housing market went down, and I was in the home remodeling sales department. Um, so that is my background, is sales and marketing. What I teach in the academy is very unique from everyone else because I have about 15 to 17 years of sales and marketing experience. So I know what works, I know what doesn't work. And in the notary industry, they have never seen anything like this before. The reason is this notary business can be traced all the way back to Egyptian times, right? Like there are scribes in the pyramid
Mhm.
right now, uh, explaining that there were notaries back then. So that's how ancient this this industry is. It haven't seen technology like what we're using today to talk to people all around the world. It hasn't seen people doing remote online notarizations before. It haven't seen Calendly and StreamYards and all of it. So it's brand new. It's a market that is wide open. So what I teach the students is, it's great that you know how to do loan closings. It's great that you know how to do quick claim deeds and warranty deeds. But how do you get the clients? How do you know how to price yourself? How do you know what to say when a client calls you on the phone and you don't sound like a basement warrior? You're operating out of your basement or anything like that. And there's nothing wrong with it because I still work in my house, right? But you want to give the perception of a big company feel. So I teach people how to give their company a big company feel. I teach them how to answer the phone correctly because you don't know if a law firm is calling you. You don't know if a title or escrow company is calling you. You don't know if Merrill Lynch and Charles Schwab is calling you. Trust me, they're expecting a certain level of professionalism, and they're expecting you to kind of like have a cookie cutter script. What's funny is a lot of notaries say, I don't want to read off of a script because it makes me sound robotic. And I always come back with the question, Well, does Will Smith sound like a robot when he's reading off of his script? Does Denzel Washington sound like a robot when he's reading off of his script? Scripts work. That's what they're designed to do. So I created this $250 call script for notaries, and it blew up. I should have actually released that before I released my actual book, and it just helped so many notaries all across the United States increase their profit margin. Now, another thing is that notaries didn't realize they can charge for certain services. I'll give you an example. Somebody would want to get a power of attorney, right? Now, in the state of Illinois, it's required that you have a third-party witness that is non-related, not married into the family. So a lot of clients do not want people in their business like that. Even though they grew up around the next door neighbor for 20 years, they don't want to invite their neighbor into something so personal. So they're like, yeah, I don't have anybody. So what we would do is I would teach the notaries, you can charge to provide a third party witness. You know, cousin Joe that sits on the couch and watches Netflix all day, tell him, hey, come with me, man. I'm going to give you $40. You charge the client $90. You give JoJo $40, and you go and execute that notarization. Now everything works smoothly. The client is happy. JoJo's definitely happy. You're happy because you got the job and the notarization. It's a win-win situation for everybody. Another situation would be, all right, if you're going to a hospital, especially if it's downtown during rush hour, you can charge accordingly for that. Just like FedEx, if you need this same day service, they charge you for overnight shipping versus ground shipping, right? There's a price difference on there. So teaching the notaries how to price themselves correctly is huge. And then I also teach them how to get leads from high quality lead sources, because that's the main thing. You don't want to go knocking door to door or making a bunch of cold calls to get clients. You want them banging down your door, ringing your phone 2-3 times just to get you to notarize their documents. So I teach the sales and marketing side of the notary business.
Okay, let me just I'm going to add your site to the stream real quick.
Oh, sure, cool.
This is your website. This is one of them. They're miraculously linked.
Yes, it's a hub.
It's a hub. Okay. This is your latest book, Rise of the Smart Notary Evolution.
Correct.
We can get that on Amazon. And then this has part of your YouTube in here. And then this is the class that I'm considering taking. It's a 6-week class. Because although I've been notarized, I mean, I know how to do all documents basically, except I don't necessarily know how to market. And you were telling me that, and you could maybe even speak to this training that's coming up. I won't, but just real quick, talk to us about this, and then I'll finish what I was going to say.
Which one, the Crossroads?
Yeah, the Crossroads.
Oh yeah, it's a phenomenal. So this guy, Tekamaku, right? He's out of East Oakland, California. He's like a thrown rock away from Silicon Valley. So he's exposed to a lot of tech companies, right? All they think about is streamline automation. So he read the first book that I wrote out, Rise of the Smart Notary. And he was able to dissect that book in a way that I've never seen dissected before. And he started rolling out different programs and different automation part of the business. I was like, wow, this is genius. So he taught me some of it, and I actually implemented in my business. And I was like, dude, this is golden. So he kept going, he kept pushing forward, and he just got better and better and better, to the point where I was like, hey, look, man, we got to do a class together. So I reached out to him, and now he's teaching automation and how to get really high quality, high paying customers through a lead source that he uses religiously.
Really?
So yeah, that class is amazing. I actually sit in that class as a student.
Okay, that might be one I might consider as well. But anyway, oh, what I was gonna say
Hmm.
was I lost my train of thought. I probably was leaning toward sources, lead sources, and um, how you in your classes, I know because I've taken one of your classes, you talk about some of the lead sources. I'm looking at my notes here. You talk about the SEOs on Google and how do you get customer acquisitions, and we won't talk about everything in your class, but that's part of what you talk about in your class. The next thing I wanted to ask, on I looked up one of your classes,
Hmm.
and I am busy like this class here, the black box
Hmm.
that starts on September 14th. I am busy. It's like it meets on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Well, you know what I'm doing at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. That's why I couldn't get you yesterday. You were probably teaching a class. We had
Yeah,
to work on Wednesday, and I usually don't do Passion Speaks back to back. I have another one tomorrow because it doesn't give me a good enough time to do homework on the guests.
you're busy, Queen.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. But what can I do as an alternative if I can't make your class? Like if I have to come in a half hour late, what's up with that?
Well, I always recommend coming in live because the energy is just like off the chain, right?
Yes.
But you have access to all the replays.
Okay.
So when you sign up for the class, like the black box is specifically because I've never ever taught a class for new notaries before. It was always for active notaries, right?
Mhm.
And I've been getting such an overwhelming inquiry about when are you going to do something for new notaries. I'm just getting my commission, or I just got my commission last week. I don't know where to start, this and that. So I was like, I am going to create a 6-week course specifically for new notaries on how to launch a successful notary business. Not to be a successful notary public, but
Mhm.
how to launch a successful notary business, because it's a business at the end of the day.
Right.
So yeah, you'll get access to all the replays. Plus the replays, we always create worksheets, infographics, all kind of designs. So, and then you can leave comments on there as well. So you become this part of our Notary 300 community.
Okay. Okay. And I can get my 20% off discount for that.
Oh, you already know. You already know. I got you. I got you.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Is there anything I missed or you'd like to leave us with? I appreciate your time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you guys, like whatever your goal is, you're gonna run into some obstacles. Don't give up. And I know that it sounds so cliche to hear that, but it really is true. Look, I came to Chicago when my mom died, and my father was already married with somebody else, and you know what I mean, like they kind of like turned their back on me. I came to Chicago, like I felt like an orphan. I was like, young, and I had $150, a brown suitcase, and a boom box with me. That's all I had to my name. I didn't have nothing. Today, like it's night and day, and it's because I never gave up. So did I have to have jobs to get to where I'm at? Absolutely. But know what your end game plan is and just keep going. Just keep going. And this person says, hey, you're not going to succeed. You keep going. Hey, your business look like it's, about to be doomed. Just keep going. you know, Find
Mhm.
something to keep you motivated, like music or taking a jog or working out or whatever it is. Just stay in your mix, stay on your wave. It will
Find
work
a
out.
passion and pursue it, huh?
Find that passion for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tiger Toledo. I appreciate your time and talking with us. And whoever's watching, thank you for watching Passion Speak, where we give those with a passion a platform to speak. We've been speaking with Tiger Toledo of the Notary Cash Flow. And you can look up or you can look down depending on where you're at, and you can get all kind of links, including a discount on his next class or one of the other classes that is coming up. And I appreciate your time, Tiger, and much
Oh,
love
did
to
you give
you.
him your coupon code?
Yeah, it's in there. It should all be in there. If I did
Okay,
this
cool.
right.
Passion 1137, y'all. Y'all
Yeah,
type in
it's in
Passion
there.
1137.
It is
You
in
guys
there.
get like just a straight up 20% because Sandra is doing such a remarkable job. You guys tune into her. She's doing something amazing here.
Ah, thank you. All right. Good night, everyone. Have a great night.